All right. Well, good evening. It is 10:30 p.m. and it is Sunday, March the 9th, in the year of our Lord 2022 or 2025. I got my dates mixed up a bit there. Anyway, I made a video today. I made the video actually yesterday, but I did a thing with music today. A video of myself going down the winding stairwell in the back of the Royal Bank building in Perth, which is the building I lived in for 28 years. And I set the video today to a song called "Round Round We Go" by Trooper, and the song is from 1978. Anyway, that got me thinking. Because that building where I lived for 28 years, that's no longer my home. In fact, when I go in there, I'm trespassing. And they even have signs up in there to say that if they catch you trespassing, they're going to prosecute you. So basically, I committed a crime yesterday by making that video in that stairwell. Yet that's a building that I lived in for 28 years, that I had a right to be in for 28 years. But I no longer have any right to be there. And the stairwell was actually built by my grandpa in the 1930s. That's another little tidbit of information for you. And of course, the song "Round Round We Go" by Trooper that I set the video to, that song came out in 1978 when I was 10 years old. And all of this has me thinking in a kind of a philosophical way, I suppose. Because, we get nostalgic. We think about the past and we get nostalgic. Whether we should or not, we do. And of course, we think about places we've been, places that used to be home to us. But I can tell you, when I go into that building now, I don't feel like I'm at home. I'm not comfortable going in there anymore because I know that I no longer have a place there. And if I had the opportunity to travel back in time, if time travel were possible or is possible, and I was ever to have the opportunity to travel back in time, I'd probably travel back in time if I could visit certain areas just for a day. But like, for example, I'd probably travel back to the 1970s and spend a day there and visit that era, and remember, because I lived in that era. So for me, the big thing would be remembering. But here's the thing. That's no longer my home. That's an era. That's a place. The 1970s is a place that I passed through. Same with the 80s, 90s, and so on. All places I passed through. What they're like, really, they're just like a hotel room or a motel room that I spent the night in years ago. And even that building where I used to live, that's what that's like. It's like revisiting a motel room that I spent the night in decades ago, where I was just passing through and it was just a place to lay my head down, even though it was a 28-year long tenancy there on my part. That's not my home, and it never really was. It was just a place I was passing through. And I know I've always felt out of place. In this world, I've always felt out of place. I've never really felt like I belong. And there's a good reason for that. And the reason is I'm passing through. This isn't my home. There's various places in this world where I've laid down my head for various periods of time. And there's various eras of history that I've lived through, where every day I did whatever I was doing at that time, and every night I laid down my head and went to sleep, just like I'm about to do now, here, and in the here and now. But the thing is, none of those eras were my home. If I had the ability to go back, say, to 1978, when the song that I used in the video came out, I remember that song well. I remember 1978 well. And if I had the ability to go back, and then I can't say I wouldn't, I probably would go back for a day just as a nostalgia trip, but it would not be home. And really, even this era isn't home. This is just where I'm at now on my journey. There's a reason they call it your life's journey. So I guess the question is, though, if we're on a journey, then there must be a destination. If we're on a journey, there's a destination. Something to think about, This ain't all there is. Just like 1978 wasn't all there was for me. 1978 turned into 1988, and that turned into 1998. And 1998 turned into 2008, and so on. Now we're in 2005. If I'm still alive in 3 years, it'll be... Now we're in 2025, If I'm still alive in 3 years, we'll be in 2028. You see? And that won't be my home either. That won't be my ultimate destination. That'll just be an era I'm passing through. Just like this is an era I'm passing through. Just like 1978 was an era that I was passing through. Yeah. Anyway, I guess it's kind of philosophical, but it does make me think, all these places that we call home, all these eras that we get nostalgic for, if we actually return to these places, we soon discover that that's no longer our place. We don't belong there anymore. Whether it's a place, a relationship, or an era. But they all served the purpose at the time. They were all part of our journey. Different places I've been, the Royal Bank Building was 28 years of my journey was spent at the Royal Bank Building, in Perth. But now when I go back there, I'm a trespasser. I'm actually committing a crime by going in there. And the reason for that is that I no longer belong there. That was just one stop along the way on my journey, you see. Anyway, that's it. Does make you think, eh? All these eras we've lived through, all the places we've lived, all the relationships we've had of different types with different people. And it's all temporary. And the reason for that is because life is a journey. If you stop for gas at a gas station, you're not meant to stay there for forever. If you spend the night in a motel, you're not meant to stay there forever either. And it's the same thing, even your house and apartment and anything at all. It's all very fleeting when you look back on it. Well, that era that I spent living in that Royal Bank Building in Perth, that seems like a lifetime ago to me. And I left there in 2016. So it hasn't even been 10 years. It hasn't even been a decade, but it seems like a lifetime ago. that I live there, you know. Anyway, that's it. Just something to think about, eh? We're on a journey. It's a life journey. And if we try to go back, we go back as a trespasser, you know. The past don't belong to us anymore. And we don't have the deed to the future yet. We don't have a guarantee of the future. All we really have is this particular moment, because this is all we have any control over. And now the past can affect how we handle this moment, and how we handle this moment can affect the future. So it's important how we handle it. But that's all we have is this moment to do our utmost best with. You know, that's all we have. This moment to do our utmost best with. All right, we'll see you later.